Okay, so today I'm playing the Stanley Parable, and this is my first time playing it, so guess let's begin.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Okay.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so this is the first time I've played this.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So yeah, I've seen other people play this before. Sorry about that. So yeah, I've seen people play this before, but I've never played it myself. So yeah, I guess I'll just see what happens. I'm gonna take it in turns to follow what he says.
When Stanley came to
by
a set
not
of
doing
two
it.
open doors,
So
he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
might just sit down and have a quick rest.
Yes, really worth it being here in the... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, so I followed the first one. I'm just gonna sneak through here.
Stanley was
I
so bad
recognise
at
this from
following
some
directions,
videos.
it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy,
I don't know
really.
if I
I'm
can
not.
die in this game, but
I
I really want to
realize
jump
that
down
investing
there.
your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the
Right
fact
onto the
is that
floor
the
by the
story has
vans.
been about nothing but you all this time. There's
Yeah, I'm just
someone
gonna
you've
say
been
it.
neglecting, Stanley.
Not seeing
Someone
anyone
you've
actually stay on
forgotten
this.
about.
So
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
How do I do this? Oh, just click. Probably should have tried that. I guess that was another option. I probably shouldn't have
Stanley,
done
is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Okay.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Guess he wants me to go in there, so I'm just gonna...
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
I'm just gonna stand here for a bit and see if anything happens. And if it doesn't, I'll just cut to it in a minute. Okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother. Let's get on with this.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Press B. I don't want to press B. You press B. Run away. What's that? Maybe this part isn't an option. I'll just press B.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Oh, I see what this is. This is like Stanley's job. Is that sticking out the top? Anyway. Push her over. Fall. Can't jump for some reason. I can only crouch.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Why me?
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Oh, TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
It's quite a nice TV, actually. Who are the boys exactly? Sounds like I'm about to get beaten up.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. and he called it the Stanley Parable.
I'm just gonna try pressing every single other button on my keyboard. And don't press that. And just hope that something happens, I guess. It's easy to do something.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
I'm scared to do it.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
All these messages I'm getting.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley.
Who's sending
so different,
those,
I suppose. I'll
my
try once more to
advertising away.
convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Guess Stanley did that. Sorry about these messages at the top. They're just my friend being really, really annoying. Don't know why he's doing that. I guess that was quick. I'm gonna end this here, and I'm probably gonna record episode 2 now. But yeah, so see you in episode 2.